What's going on, YouTube? We are back with part number 4 of this video series. If this is your first time here, we are doing a walkthrough of an application that I will be putting up for my portfolio. It is a full-stack application built with Mongo, Express, React Node, and we are using Redux for state management. Now, in this specifically, in this part 4, we are updating some of the things for the backend. So we are updating some of the routes as well as the schemas. There was things that I thought would work better as far as the routing and as well as the schemas that made more sense doing it this way. So let's go ahead and get started and walk through this. Alright, so what I was thinking as far as that goes to change is, instead of having the food schema be added to our collection by itself, I would instead have a food array inside of our user and have that specific food item that the person wishes to add in there. Now, we are going to be still using the food schema, so we're going to be inserting a food schema into the user schema. So we'll walk through how to do that. And we will need to edit some of the things here, so I'm gonna be getting rid of this. So let's go ahead and get just started in this. We don't need the owner, which is basically the username, so we won't need that anymore. We will need calories, carbs, proteins, fat, serving measurements. I believe those are all the things that we do need. And then if we go back to the user, I already have this typed in, the food, and it's going to be an array type. Now, actually, let's go back to our food and let's add date. Yeah, let's leave it at date. So this will be a type of string. Let's just leave it at string. Actually, I don't know if it's going to be a number or a string. The date object on the front end. Anyways, we can change that later, but we will need a date property in here in the food schema. And that's only because I'm planning to add the functionality of having different days pop up here, so you can select for which day, etc. Anyways, let's keep going. Now we have the changes that we need for here and here. Now, do we want to have all the routes inside of the user or inside of the food? Because we won't need the this post route for adding food anymore. Well, we just edit the whole thing. Food user. Okay, let's just go ahead and import the const user. Okay. So that's done. Delete. So we're just gonna be updating all of these. Let me see. All right, so we do need to change the way we retrieve food, add food, obviously delete it and update it. Let's see. So we will need the username. Not the username actually, but rather the ID of the user. don't think we need, well, what do we do? Food.find. Actually, I'm not 100% sure about this one. Let's figure out how do we add these things. So we don't need this. We can take that out. We do need date. So let's required request body date. Okay. New food save. We're not necessarily saving anymore. So actually, we also need ID. So user ID request body. So I think would be find update one actually. So let's update one. Let's look at the update one. Where is it? So filter. So the filter would be the ID. Now document options. The query. So let's obviously user. And the options, what was it? So then the document is, okay, let's see. Field value. Okay, so we'll be using push operator. Now we do is do this push, and then we'll pass in the object that we want to add to. So we'll say food, and what is being added, which is the new food. Okay. Oh my goodness. Let's go back and find it again. So error. Let's just say error. Result. So if it's an error, respond.send will send Okay, so now, but we have to think food.add. Okay, let's just, that works out for me. Let's bring out insomnia. Post. Let's add a user. And the user actually needs call it test 1. We'll say 1 just for testing. Galleries and then gallery goal. User gallery goal. What? Forgot the add on there. Whoa. Gallery goal. Oh, what did I type in there? Okay. Gallery goal. Okay. Let's get all over users. Where's test? Copy that ID. We'll need it. So let's it's a put. So we have to change this to a put request. We are updating our user, so we need to put in there calories. Actually, it has to be a number, so we're gonna get a error 1, and then let's put in our ingredients. Let's just say okay, and then carbs. Fat. Takes a minute. Servings. Just 1. Serving measurement. So date. I think we put it as a string, so let's just say Sunday. This is a put, so let's save that, make sure we're good to go. Our test. We got a 404, cannot find user. Oops, so not user, but we got to change our route here. So we got to do food /add. seems like it added. So let's let's go back and get all our users. Okay, so there it is. Our test user, the food property, where we have our ingredients, we have our ID. So we will need to use these the specific ID to later delete and also update if the user wants to do more servings of that specific meal. Then we can update by that ID. So it seems like it's working very well. Let's go ahead and add another one. So let's do food and add. Change that to put. Let's say just for visual sakes, let's change all those 2 to 2. All those 1s to 2. Sorry. Okay, is the yeah, there it is. So then that's how we add schemas into insert schema into an existing schema. Now we have to figure out how to update this. So we want to be able to update this by the ID. And also we need to be able to retrieve all of the food items for that specific user that is selected. Also delete, I believe. So let's get on to that. All right, so now let's figure out how we're going to be able to pull sorry about that. So we'll need the user ID for the user. Food.find. It won't be food, but it'll be user not find, and we need food. Let's obviously change that to user. Now let's see. Get. So we need food and find by ID. We have to pass an ID, I think. ID. All right, so then that's how we retrieve just the food for that specific user. Let's see. Alright, so let's see if we can find the right method to delete some of the food. So I believe pull does just exactly that, but so we would have to be able to, so update, or is it update? Let's see, delete. We will need any. Let's see. Update. So we'll just say update. We'll pass in user ID, and we'll need, well, within that specifically, pull. So let's say just pull. And then we'll say specifically in there food, and let me see. The following operation will remove all items from the boards array with a greater than or equal to. Salt. Score 8, item B makes. Let's see. Alright, so I think we can use the element match to specify that condition, and that condition is going to be the ID of the food. So if we go, where are we? User update food, and then we're going to be using so food, and then we'll say element match, and then we'll just pass in the object with ID, and it will have to, I'm going to change this actually because we'll say user and we'll need const food ID. So we'll say request body dot ID. We'll simply say that, and then we'll say food ID. Okay, and we'll passing callback function with the error as well as the result, and then we'll say the same thing. If error, then let's response send the error. Okay. Else, oops. Response not send the result. We won't need this anymore. Let's see, make sure. Seemed like it compiled correctly. Let's give it a try. So let's say food and delete an ID. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Let's change that. So we'll need, this would be the user. So let's change that to user, and we'll need an ID here. Oops. So let's say we want to delete, let's delete the first one. Okay. Food delete, let's see. Okay. Or modified. So seems like that worked just fine. So let's go ahead and get the users all over again. Let's go down to our test user. No, it didn't work. It says it gave us a result message. It clearly did not work. 203F. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so let's check, see what this says. Okay. Database collection established successfully. Deprecation warning. Collection 1 update is deprecated. Use update 1. Obviously, we should have used that. So let's just change that to update 1. Let's try it again. Use delete. That would be food. / delete. Okay, so now let's cross our fingers. Wait a minute. It is still here, so I don't know if you can tell, but that's 207 IDs there. 23F. Delete. Make sure we're doing that. Passing food. Let's delete. Oh, let's change that to put. I don't think because we're updating, so let's we're not deleting the user, but we are updating. So let's see, make sure that's change that to put. Okay, let's go back and check now. No, that's still update 1. We passed. Maybe let's try that. ID. Compiled right. Put food and then delete. Modified 1. So now we got, that might have done it. No, that didn't do it. Okay, let me see if I can look into exactly what I'm doing wrong. Alright, so we are back, and we've kind of sorted out the issue that we were having where the food schema had the nested array, the user schema had the nested array of food that wasn't taking in the schemas that we were pushing into it, which were the food ones. So to fix that, my mentor had suggested that instead of me pushing the whole schema in there, I should just push the ID of that schema, so we can then reference it later on to bring to basically call on all the schemas for that user. And the way we went about that is for the add route instead of the food routes, we're going to be using a put. So we're updating, and we're going to need to pass on the body of our call the ID of the user, as well as the well, not the food object, but rather we will need to pass on calories, ingredients, all that good stuff for our food model, and then we're gonna go ahead and obviously pass it into a food model, and then we'll use the save method, and then obviously we'll only return the success if it's been a success or error. And right after that's done, we'll also update the user, and then we'll use update 1, and therefore we need our user ID, and then we'll use the push method. And what will be the thing that we are going to be pushing is the food inside of the food array, and we'll be pushing the new food, which has the object ID already created once you've made the new food schema. And obviously we have our error handling, and that's how we'll do it. So let's quickly demonstrate how that'll work out. And I've already tried this, so we'll actually be able to see our current user with all the food inside of it. Let me see. Bring up insomnia. Okay. So let's do put. So let's food, and then we'll do add. Okay, so we'll need an ID, and let me see, actually I don't know which ID to use, so we'll use, sorry, let's do user, whoops, okay, I think it's users, localhost, is it localhost? Okay, so we're having an issue. Give it a second here. Let's see the history. Okay, weird. Okay, so we have, well, let's see which user will be able to. Food. Okay, so let's do this user, which is already over here. Let's call on put, and we'll do food, add, and then we'll just say 9, so we're able to identify it. 9, 9, 9, and then we'll change this to, instead of ounces, just pounds. So we'll do 0.6. Okay. Food added. Okay, so let's go back to get call, and then we'll say user. What? More issues. Don't understand why. That's okay. Let me go ahead and fix this. Okay, that's weird. Let's call on it. Okay, so that's not acting weird anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and paste this back in there. So let's go ahead and find that user. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3. Actually, let's pull the food, not the user. So then here we have all of our food models, and let's find the one with number 8, which is not even there. So let's do add. It says modify, but did it actually work? That's weird. Hold on. Okay, so I just added a catch for the error handling right after the update one, and went ahead and updated that. It says food added, but it crashed the app. So let's see what happens if we go ahead and get all of our food models again. So it's disconnected. It's safe, it'll restart again, but then let's go ahead and get that. And food has not been added. We have the same food twice now in here. Alright, so I went ahead and logged into the MongoDB Atlas just to check, and they're actually on here. For whatever reason, this is not being pulled, as you can see. See, all the 4 times that we tried adding this, they're here. So let's just assume that they're there, and we're having an issue with insomnia. Change log. Okay, so let's just close that off, and then we'll call. Oh, that's right, sorry, no wonder why it wouldn't work, because we are not passing. We have to pass a array of all the food IDs, and I have been doing this manually just for testing purposes, and obviously I don't have the new ones that have been added onto it, so they're not going to be visible. Now, to do that, let's go into here, if I can get this rolling. So let's just go ahead and pull one of the, I'll pull this one. So let's add this on here. Okay, save it. Let's go ahead. What a silly mistake. Anyways, so now we can go ahead and click send, and then we'll be able to see that there it is. Alright, simple enough. I think that's a much better solution to what we were trying to do before, where we were trying to add the whole schema inside of our user. So now if we actually go back to the user, that's why we were seeing so many IDs into our food array, and we weren't able to pull it back because we needed to do it manually. So once we have this on the front end, we're gonna need to basically add onto the body all these this big array of IDs in order to pull all of our food schemas. Okay, so now let's work on delete and update. So now pull food ID. Okay, so food ID, we'll also need to remove it. Update 1. So we'll need 2 food IDs. We'll need to remove it from user ID, as well as our, well actually nope, that's not what we, it's actually user, and then we'll need food, and I believe we can use, let's go back to Mongoose, and since this is update 1, options. We don't really need any options in there. So we can just use find filter, which is the ID. So we'll do find actually find but I need delete. Let's see. We'll just pass in the user. No, actually the food ID. Sorry, food ID. Food. Okay, let's try that. Let's give it a shot. Let's say delete and we'll food. Delete. Let's see, we want to delete this food, so we'll do user ID. Okay, no, sorry, food ID. Let's delete the last one off this user. Okay. Let's see if this is a success or not. Food. Now let's just say food removed, and as well as dot then we'll say response. We'll say food deleted on here, food deleted, and the catch here. Okay. Give it a shot. Empty object and one bad request. Okay. So ID food when. Let's see what this has. It keeps telling me that I have unhandled pros. See if it did anything over here. It did delete it because I think we had 4 in the past. So there's 3 now. Let's delete this puppy right here. So okay, let's delete that. So now we only have 3 as far as food. Let's go back and put this here. Once done, we should have. I keep saying bad request. Why? So weird. Where's the refresh button? Here it is. So now we should only have 2, which, yep. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go back here. I think it's test 1. 1, 2, yeah. So there's 10 elements inside of this array. So then it is deleting properly, but there's clearly some issues right now, as we can see. Alright, so that's that for our delete route. Let's we will need to also be able to update again our food by, well, actually, you know, this is actually, there's no changes needed to be done here, because we'll need to pass in the ID of the food that we want to update, and updated it. So I think that's taken care of. All right, so that's that. Let's see. Let's delete this. We don't need this anymore. So let's say food, and that's the request dot body dot food. And we'll just simply call it that. So once we are building our front end, we'll just pass in a array of food. So let's do that. Okay. I don't think we need to do anything with our users. But add ID, put update the calories. Okay. Let's see. Get. Quickly test this real quick. Let's test that food. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7. That number is wrong. Okay, so let's just go ahead and move on. Work out the bugs as we go. Okay, user, oh, we have that done. Okay, so now we are practically done with our backend. So now we will move on to the front end. Now, it seems like there might be some bugs. I don't think we'll kind of catch them as we start working on the front end, and for the next video we're going to start actually doing some of the requests to from the server from the front end, so we'll be able to see if there's actually any bugs or anything like that, and we'll be able to finally build out our our user interface and have it dynamically change and update, as well as, you know, obviously adding users and playing with all that. And hopefully this has been somewhat insightful and not too boring, but we'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks. Bye bye.